So Gemma asks, if you have an investment property loan where not all tax deductible because you took cash out to buy a PPOR, is there any way to make the interest fully tax deductible again? Or if not, can you split the loan and try to pay down the non-tax deductible part?
Good question for an accountant, this one.
It is a good question for an accountant.
We'll have a go at it.
Or, Gemma, with loans, and this is why your accountant, when you do get different loans for different purposes, would tell you to have different splits. So, you might have your split for against your PPOR that is investment. You might have a split that's for shares. You might have a split that's for a deposit and cost for an investment property. It's about the purpose of the loan that means whether they're tax deductible or not. So can you do those things? Yes, you can. But would it be fully tax deductible again? In my opinion, it would not be, but you'd need to go to your accountant and find that out.
Yeah, you mentioned the word purpose. What's it being used for?
Yeah.
If I'm using it to buy a boat, right, that boat's not income producing. It's a toy for my lifestyle, not tax deductible.
Yeah.
Right, by the definition of the ATO. Whereas if I'm taking some equity from my home and I'm going to use that as a deposit and cost for buying an investment property, which is income producing, and I'm not living in it, then tax deductible.
Yeah.
Is the black and white essentially, isn't it?
Yeah. So, Gemma, if that portion was for your owner occupied and you refinanced it and just took it up to that level, your accountant may say that's not tax deductible because the purpose of that was to buy your owner occupied property.
And one of the most common questions we get, both with clients and people that reach out on clarity calls, is, do you have a good accountant?
Yeah.
I don't know. I reckon it's 1 in 2 reach out and say, oh, by the way, do you have an accountant? Because either mine's retired, too old, or they've left, or I don't know. But I suppose back to my point before about being on my third accountant, it's not because I'm I suppose want to continually change experts. We don't. We want trusted people in our corner for the next 30 years. And there's good and bad of everything out there. So just continue to ask good questions.
Yeah, that's right. I've only had the one accountant, but he's very conservative. But sometimes I have to push and I have to say, can you just see if that is possible? Can you ask? Can you double check that? But I do like to be on the side of being cautious with accountants. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of grey area, isn't there? And,
there is.
And when there's grey, it's interpretation now, isn't it? So.
Yeah. So, Gemma, check with your accountant and your mortgage broker will do whatever you ask them to do.
Because they're the one taking the risk when you sign off on it as an individual.